All right, good morning. Hello, let me be the first to formally welcome you all to our inaugural meeting of the Research Education Seminar Series of the Carolina Center on Alzheimer's Disease and Minority Research. My name is Lucy Ingram, and I'm an associate professor in the Department of Health Promotion, Education, and Behavior, as well as the assistant dean for academic affairs and online education in the Arnold School of Public Health here at the University of South Carolina. I'm going to thank you all for joining us in person here in the Public Health Research Center building, as well as those who are joining us remotely via live webinar, via live stream. We will also be recording all of our sessions and making them available via archive on our website. Information about that will be announced at a later date. So my role for you today is to help usher us through the morning's agenda. My role on this project is to serve as the co-lead along with my colleague, Marvella Ford, on the research education component of the center. So Marvella will be joining us a little bit later this morning to describe the specific details about what we're designed and plan to do as the research education component of the center, a little bit about the reason for our meeting here today. The center is designed to help increase diversity of our research workforce, particularly looking at the determinants of the disparities that we see in Alzheimer's disease and related dementia. And so we invite scholars throughout our states who are interested in this work to join our monthly seminars, and we'll be providing information later on in the morning about some scheduled dates that we have already for you. So the first thing that I'd like to do is share with you our agenda for this morning. And this is our plan for today. So we would like to begin with our introduction of team members, followed by a brief grant background that will be presented by one of our principal investigators, Dr. Daniela Friedman. We'll also summarize our research education component, and that will be led by my colleague, Marvella Ford. Also, we'll share with you information about our other core component, the analysis core. We'll then end with our pilot, or summarize, end up with our pilot project summaries. We have three esteemed colleagues who will be sharing with you the projects that they have been working on as part of this core. And then we'll end with a closing and a description of our upcoming events. So without further ado, I want to shift to the introduction of our team members, and let's do this roll call style, and we'll start with Clemson University. So yes, please introduce yourself. Any persons online who would like to introduce themselves?
Hi, I'm Kapil Chalil Medathil from Clemson University in the Department of Industrial and Civil Engineering.
I'm sorry, so we heard Kapil and then we heard someone else from Clemson. Can you repeat that? That's perfect. Thank you. Can you hear us okay?
Yes, loud and clear.
Perfect. Technology check. Perfect. And I did say this was our inaugural meeting, right? So this is also known as the run-through for all of the other monthly seminars that we have planned. So thank you all for introducing yourselves. What I failed to mention at the start of this introduction is that we are partnering with these 6 institutions to help with diversifying and building that cadre of scholars around research in ADRD. And so we have representatives here who will serve as subcontractors who will be helping us to spread the word to other faculty and scholars who may be interested in the research, education, and infrastructure that we're helping to build. And we hope that members of these institutions will also apply for our pilot proposals that will be annually awarded. And we'll talk a bit more about that later on this morning. So now I'd like to turn it over to Dr. Daniela Friedman, one of our principal investigators, and she's going to talk to us about the mission and vision of CCADMR. We're going to go with that now.
CCADMR. Wonderful. Okay. So our next event, we'll hand out the eggs. It might be near Easter for eggs. So there we go. I just wanted to give a little bit of background about the center grant and what brought us to apply for this. And then I really want to give a chance to everybody else to chat about the cores and the other components of the grant, which are really important. So we submitted this grant proposal for this center grant back in July 2017, which doesn't seem like a long time ago, but now that it's already 2019, it kind of does, I guess. Maybe the grant announcement came out early or, a few months after 2017 had started, and we pulled this together really quickly because of wonderful colleagues in the room and on the phone and others who couldn't be here, and because of established partnerships that we already had and that Sue already had and that you have. And so this was really amazing that we pulled this together. And Sue couldn't be here today, but she would say that this was the group she always wanted to be part of, this RICMAR Center grants, and she had applied for one several years ago. So we found out September 2018. Notice that says 18, not 17. So we found out over a year later that we had been funded. We did get some feedback around January, February of 2018, and we had to respond to some questions from reviewers. But we had a very positive review, and then we found out that we were officially funded. There's so many acronyms and nomenclature soup related to these grants, but what we are is an AD-RICMAR, which stands for an Alzheimer's disease focused resource center for minority and aging research. So there are general RICMARs funded across the country that are general traditional resource centers that aren't necessarily focused on Alzheimer's, but in this latest round, they funded centers focused on Alzheimer's. In the last 5-year cycle of grants, there were 7 centers total, I believe. And now there are 18 RICMARs funded across the country. So we're part of a very nice network of these resource centers funded at other universities. Some of them are traditional RICMARs and some of them are focused on Alzheimer's. So there is a coordinating center out at UCLA, and they kind of organize us, keep us together, plan meetings, plan calls, and things like that. There are 10 general RICMAR centers, and there's 8 focused on Alzheimer's. And we are one of these. So this is really exciting that South Carolina now has one of these centers. So very exciting, and kudos to everybody in this room who helped pull this together. So why did we apply for this grant? Lucy already talked a little bit about what the focus is. So we know that Alzheimer's disease and related dementias, ADRD, as you may see it in the news on the National Institute of Aging website, it really is a focus in the public health agenda right now. South Carolina has an extremely high death rate from Alzheimer's disease. Okay, so we unfortunately, we make a lot of lists in South Carolina, and we're first or second. It's not always for good things, but this is an opportunity for us to come together now that we have this center funded to increase our capacity in doing work in this area. Older African Americans are at increased likelihood of having ADRD. There's very high risk. And we are looking to understand better what are the factors that are contributing to these very high rates of Alzheimer's disease in our state. Hopefully be able to continue this work beyond our 5 years with the infrastructure that we grow and the research that we do. So we're very excited to be able to learn more about this now that we have this group together. Lucy mentioned the focus of our center. It really is to diversify the research workforce focused on population health and all of these determinants of Alzheimer's dementia. We'll do this through our seminar series to learn about research that's in the field, also learn about where the gaps are and what we can be doing to address these gaps. And we're also going to fund 3 pilot projects per year for our 5-year grant cycle that, of course, will continue into many years to come. But for now, we will be funding 3 pilot projects per year. I can see a lot of spin-offs from the work that you're all doing and that others will be doing. And then we have our first-year pilot project PI, and you all are going to be serving as mentors then to the new pilot project PI. So nobody's going to be disappearing. We're all going to be together for at least these 5 years. So that's exciting. I hope that we can keep people involved even after projects end, because this work. This is our center structure, which isn't, I just wanted to show that there's many components and that all of you are really contributing to this and all have leadership positions. All of the universities are part of our executive committee, our group, our partner group, and will really be helping us as we move forward to determine what other projects and other work that we're going to be doing at the center, including the workshops that we're going to be having in other seminar series. And then we have our cores. Lucy had mentioned the research education component. We have our analysis core. And then we have the administrative core that really is the logistics and the organizing. And Joan has joined us and will really help bring us all together, all of the components of the project. And now we can see Yi, which is wonderful. Okay, wonderful. I'm going to turn it over to Dr. Ford. Marvella's going to talk about the research education component.
Good morning, everyone. So I'm sorry that I don't look like that picture today, but anyway. So Dr. Ingram and I are co-leading the research education component, and this is very exciting for a number of reasons. I became part of the RICMAR family back in the 90s when I was at Henry Ford Health System, Human Resource Center for Minority Aging Research Grant. And then when I came here to South Carolina, we had a grant at MUSC, also another RICMAR grant. So it's just, I'm very grateful to be part of the RICMAR world again and to have a chance to work. These RICMARs have produced success. The reason they went from 7 to 18 is because they are demonstrating success. And so it's really exciting to see the pilot research investigators go from pilot projects to A's and R's and just having the research. Very. So I just wanted to go through the 5 aims just very quickly. So basically, as you've heard, 3 proposals will be funded each year. And this year, there are already 3 projects that have been selected and are getting up and running. So we're really excited to see all the motion that's taking place, the forward motion, and looking forward to it. We are issuing the call for proposals. That's been issued for this year, and those proposals are due March 15th next year. So we are providing mentoring not only in groups but also one-on-one, because we know that there are different dynamics that take place in a group setting versus one-on-one interactions. And so 2 primary mentors are assigned to each scientist, and each mentoring team is going to be transparent. This is where the research is. And as Dr. Ingram Lucy mentioned, and also Dr. Friedman, the causes and the contributors to Alzheimer's disease and related dementias are multifactorial solutions. And because of that, we have to, by definition, no longer just stay in our silo areas. We have to, in other areas, and bring together to look at social, biological, environmental needs of these people. So again, we're each person will have a mentoring team and the timeline. And this is just a graph, a table that lists some of the deliverables that are part of the timeline. So we have literature review, which is the most important part. What's been done? What's the state of the study in the area of research? Learning more about the data set, requesting variables. We have search biostatisticians for today. And we've got others in the room. We have access to the registry. So it's a really rich resource that's available through the site. And that's really one of the advantages of being part of the center, is that you have much more resources than you would ever have available. Performing data analysis, manuscript writing, submitting the manuscripts, because we know, let's admit, no grant will get funded without preliminary data, and it's always better to publish preliminary data than data that you can say is under review. And then going to the external grant proposal development and submitting it. And to have, for the plant researchers, a group your success is central. So aim 3 is we'll continue to provide mentoring and professional development pilot study funding so you won't be dropped. After you leave the nest, it's like you won't say so long. You'll still be part of the RICMAR family, the CCADMR family. And so we'll continue to have meetings to discuss, again, manuscripts. And then these are some of the grant applications, just a sampling of the types. You know, R03s, R21s, leading to the R. And again, there will be an annual writing retreat. And this is going to be in collaboration with the U.S. Office, which holds an annual writing retreat. We'll have a writing community, which really helps with accountability. We know that writing, we have a lot of deadlines, and writing is often the thing that gets pushed at manuscript. Because we have other grant deadlines, faculty deadlines, so having a group really helps. And then grant writing and coaching, participation in a mock NIH review session is very helpful. It's helpful to see how the grants are reviewed from people who weren't sitting in the program. So sometimes things, and I do it myself, they seem so clear to me. And I get the review back and I think, did they not see what I wrote? And I put it aside for a week and then I'll go back after a week, get the grant again. I think, oh, I really didn't. It's clearly, it was in my head, but somehow it didn't get on the paper. So that's this, having a review session really helps because what reviewers like is they don't want to have to figure anything out. They don't want to have to pull anything together. They want us to step by step to make it clear and simple. And sometimes I know when we're new, the tendency is to really give so many details. We end up making it so complex. And the reviewers are reviewing it too long. They are not happy about that. And they'll be saying next. So we'll also network with the Healthy Brain Research Network, collaborating center led by Dr. Friedman. And again, this center, it's a rich resource. We have all the resources, all the resources that are represented in this room from all the different partner institutions are contributing to this. And so having a center really pulls together common theme, there's unity, common mission. We have also Dr. Lovehouse, NIU-funded South Carolina Advanced University and Aging Research Project. And then we'll have webinars. These are just some topics. This is our kickoff, but we're very excited to have an overview of health disparities in aging, social determinants of health, cognitive aging in minority elders, and community health. We're really thrilled to have such a robust list. And then we'll conduct evaluation activities to show the work. And now, Dr. Lucy Ingram.
And so now I'm going to introduce the leads of our analysis core, Dr. Katrina Walsman and Dr. James Harden, along with Dr. Maggie Miller, who will tell us about their core, their components, and some of the activities that they'll
Not put slides together. Oh, this is our slide? All right. James is Vanna White. All right. So we are the analysis core team. And when we put together this, our section of the proposal, we decided that a nice way to demarcate our roles is to think about the statistical aspect of the analysis core, which Dr. Harden James here leads, and then the population science kind of component of the analysis core, which I oversee, and Maggie is involved with too through the Alzheimer's research registry. And so, because part of the focus or the main focus of this RICMAR CCADMR is population health, and so we're trying to really emphasize training in population health science and the tools that you use in population health research. And as you can see at the top, our analysis core is supported by the Office of the Study of Aging. Maggie is part of that. The Carolina Consortium on Health Inequalities in Populations, which I direct here at the university. The South Carolina Brain Network, which Daniela overseas, and the Biostatistics Collaborative, which teams of us. So part of our function is to support the pilot project scientists in their analysis. They have questions around their analyses. I know that Maggie's been working closely with two of the awardees, and I've been working closely with Andrea. We'll be participating in the seminar series that Marvella just talked about, and talk about training and secondary data analysis of large data sets, including the Alzheimer's disease registry, as well as the health and retirement study, which we will also support through the analysis core. And then we're going to work on developing data resources. My graduate assistant is helping me with that in terms of putting slide sets together about the health and retirement study. Also, we're talking about doing a lit review on some special determinants of Alzheimer's disease. So we're actively engaging and working with other Alzheimer's disease analysis core, including the other USC, whom I have a very close colleague working there. That's all I'll say here, and then I'll let others fill in if they have anything else.
Yes, so I'm Maggie Miller, and I am the manager for the South Carolina Alzheimer's Registry. And I know Nicole and Miriam are both working on their pilot project for that. Just real quick, an overview. We are one of 3 population-based registries in the nation, and we are the oldest. So we collect Alzheimer's disease related dementia diagnosis. So looking forward to working.
You should also say that for the people who are considering applying for these pilot awards, that we actively support the Health and Retirement Study and the South Carolina Alzheimer's Disease Registry. So, so thinking as you go forward.
All right, so they basically covered everything, but I'll just emphasize that the support that we give and the assistance that we provide is over the lifetime. So you're more than welcome to come talk to us before you started the proposal. As early as possible, we like to get involved. Sometimes people tend to come to us more toward the end after they've got the data and they run into trouble. But we are very excited to be part of this and look forward to talking to you the sooner the better. Mm-hmm.
Thank you to our analysis core team members. And next, we would invite our pilot project principal investigators to come join us up here and talk to us about the plans that they have for their funded proposal. So we'll start with Dr. Nicole Davis of Clemson University.
Hi, so good morning, everyone. So I'm Nicole Davis again. I'm the professor of nursing. On the pilot project that we're going to be, I'm going to work very closely with Dr. Miller. We're going to be using the Alzheimer's disease registry data, and we're going to use geospatial technologies to have prevalence rates and align those with certain socio-demographic factors like race and things like that. So what we're hoping to do is to look at the data in a different way to sort of see any relationships or things that may not be readily apparent to the data itself. And then the second part of the analysis, we're hoping to work with but we're basically going to try and align with health utilization statistics and data to see if there's any issues related to social demographics and race, Alzheimer's disease, health utilization. Thank you.
We'll now have Dr. Miriam Davis of South Carolina State University.
Good morning again. I'm Dr. Miriam Evans from South Carolina State University, and my project is multimorbidity, Alzheimer's disease, and related dementia types and mortality in South Carolina. My mentors are Dr. Maggie Miller, Dr. Dakota Mincer, and Dr. Cheryl Armstead. Our focus, two main aims for my project, number one, is to estimate the prevalence of clusters of multimorbidity and by ADR type and compare differences by race. Our second aim is to estimate the association between multimorbidity and mortality. This project is important because it will contribute to improving the quality of life for older adults living with ADRD by providing useful preliminary findings that will allow practitioners to expand these analyses to include administrative or clinical data. The project will contribute to planning of public and community health programs and facilities. I will also be using the South Carolina Alzheimer's disease registry as well. I should have said that up front, but kind of went over my head. But I will be using that data set as well. Also, I may also be using the South Carolina Revenue and Fiscal Office data sets as well.
And now we have Dr. Andrea Henderson Black from the University of South Carolina.
Thank you. So I am Andrea Henderson, and my project title is Religion and Cognition, Race, Ethnicity, and Gender Differences in Older Adults. And I am working with Katrina, but also Sarah Wilcox and Sue. So I will be using HRS data, or the Health Retirement Survey data. And we're specifically looking at the relationship between religion and cognitive functioning among older adults at the intersection of race and gender, but also looking at whether psychological resources mediate the relationship between religion and cognition. Because I have an awesome team, we already have results. So we are hopefully going to be sending out a manuscript pretty soon, within the next month, or hopefully by the end of this month. And maybe starting on something new, also looking at the HRS, thinking about loneliness as a stressor and maybe religion as a buffer, and also thinking about cognition, the effects of loneliness on cognition and whether religion, something like that. So.
So thank you to all of our pilot project principal investigators for those brief introductions. We're excited to see the work that you'll be able to produce. And we also want to share with others information about the upcoming call for proposals that we have as well. Okay. Marvella shared with you the variety of different topical areas that we are planning to focus on through the Research Education Core Seminar Series. And so just want to let you know, we've already planned the first 6 from today's date all the way through July. And these are the topics that you'll have. The next one we have scheduled is March 8th from 12 to 2 p.m. And the topics will be Introduction to the South Carolina Alzheimer's Registry and the Health and Retirement Survey. And this will be led by our leaders of the Analysis Core. And you'll see here the other topics that we have planned for you. Also by design, we want to make sure that we're able to access all of the folks who are represented at our partnering institutions. And so it is our aim to also hold these seminars at the sites of our partner institutions. So the first one we have planned for that will be in April at South Carolina State University. And so if you're able to join us in person, if you're able to join us via live webinar or via our recorded seminars, we really want to make sure that the information that we're sharing, the research infrastructure that we're trying to build, the access to mentors and to faculty experts who are represented by all of our partners are able to get amongst the network of people who are here and at other institutions to be able to participate in the resources that we plan to build. We also want to get your feedback. We want to find out from you who may be already in this field or maybe scholars who are transitioning into work in this area. Find out what topical areas, content-wise, research-wise, analysis-wise would be helpful to you. We want to make those resources available. We'll also be able to share this information with you beyond today. So we'll ask you for your contact information. There's a sign-up sheet that we're asking people to complete here in person, as well as if you're having viewing parties at your own institutions or viewing them in the comfort of your office or your home. Please do remember to share with us your contact information so that we can keep you aware of future seminars and other opportunities. Danielle? This is your invitation.
Here.
Stay tuned. And lastly, what we want to share with you in terms of announcements is the information about our upcoming call for proposals. The deadline for submission is March 15th. For others who might be interested in serving in the position of the three principal investigators that we just heard from. And so as the analysis core leads mentioned, they are available. If you have a germ of an idea and want to know, how can I help answer these research questions? They will make themselves available to you to help help you explore the data sets that we're intended to focus on to help with determining or examining those determinants of the disparities that we see in ADRD. Okay, and we'll also be able to share this information again with you. If you share with us your contact information, we'll send you the full call for proposals. And we ask that you please share this amongst your networks as well. So if you have listservs that you're a part of, if you have other scholars and colleagues who may be interested or thinking about being interested in this area, we hope that you will share this with them, and they'll please let them know to feel free to contact us if they have any questions about the proposal and other upcoming opportunities. So that's it for the content that we have planned for today. I do have 3 asks for you. So get your pens out, write these down, get your smartphones out. The first is for an evaluation. For those of you who are in person, we have these here for you to let us know what ideas you have about upcoming topics, maybe what you got out of this introductory kickoff seminar series. And so we want to evaluate this process and continue to improve it. And so as researchers, we know that feedback is important. So we ask that you do please share with us your input about how we did today and ideas that you may have for upcoming seminars. Secondly, right, tell a friend. So tell a friend about how awesome this was, about the great food that we have. And we ask you at the end of this to take some with you and network amongst yourselves here in this space. But please do tell a friend, tell them that we exist. This is our first meeting. We have 5 years of funding, and we hope to do really great things to help change the tide of the disparities that we see here in the state and beyond. And so we ask that you tell a friend. And then third, we ask that you join us. Join us for future seminars. It is our intention that we reduce any barriers to access. And so if you're not able to join us in person, we ask that you join us via live webinar or via the archived webinars, again, that we'll provide access to at a later date. So, Daniela, anything to add? Yeah, and then we failed to mention the prize. So the purse on this is up to $30,000 worth of funding for 1 year. So that may change the minds that right there. But again, we will send out more details about our call and the specific application requirements. As Daniela mentioned, we're looking for a 3-page proposal maximum. So again, we hope that we minimize barriers with the hopes of maximizing the research infrastructure around this topical area. Daniela, 2 more announcements. You want to come to the
and they are in development. And so we have some things are in progress or in the works, and so we will share that with you too. So when you share information about our center, you'll eventually have a website link that you can provide to people. All of the recordings will be on the website, and Joe is working with the graphic designer to have a logo as well that represents our state and focuses on networking and networks between us. And so I think it will be really nice. So we will share that too. In one other announcement, in addition to the seminars that we have planned that are officially part of the center, there are other networks and grants where we can also have opportunities to learn from each other. And so there are some other webinars that are coming up through the Healthy Brain Research Network. One is on innovative careers in aging, which I think will be really neat. We have a consultant speaking, somebody from AARP, and somebody from the National Institute on Aging, who is actually one of the main program officers for the RICMAR centers. And so I'll let people know when the date is for that, and maybe we can share that with this group and everybody who attended. We also have the second annual Arnold School Aging Lecture coming up on March 28th, and it will be at the Alumni Center here, and the save the date just came out yesterday. But we'll have Dr. Keith Whitfield, who's written the handbook in minority health and aging. And he is provost right now at Wayne State University, and he's been at other institutions. And he actually spoke at the RICMAR pre-conference session at their Gerontological Society of America conference. I know that some people know him. I think he will be incredible. And he will there'll also be the opportunity to have some small group meetings with faculty and students during his visit. So this was just announced yesterday, and I will get the save the date and send that out, but that will be March 28th, after the pilot project proposals are due. So until the next deadline comes along, we can all see each other for that. Thank you so much for coming to the kickoff, and for those who were able to call in, Yi and Kapil, it was nice to see you and to hear your voices. And we can see you. You have a lovely office, and I like the flowers that are there.
Yes, here.
Oh, beautiful.
Me too.
That's beautiful. It's brought sunshine. We see flowers on the screen. They've been our flowers for the event. So we have this room for a little bit longer. We hope you'll take some food and drink and network and meet each other. And we really look forward to seeing you again soon for our next seminar. Thanks so much to Dr. Ingram for hosting and facilitating us, and to everybody, all of our core leads and our PIs and everybody for being here. Thank you, Joan, for pulling this together for us.